Thank you, Mr. Chair. This is a motion that Canadians, frankly, deserve to see in the way of transparency on the part of this government. The fact that Minister Sajan was offered and accepted tickets to a concert, the Taylor Swift concert, is a classic, straight-up conflict of interest. The minister accepted tickets from PAVCO, a provincial Crown corporation. PAVCO receives funding from the federal government, including $116 million in the past year with respect to upgrades to BC Place in advance of the World Cup. The Conflict of Interest Act is crystal clear that no public office holder or member of his or her family shall accept any gift or other advantage that might reasonably be seen to have given to influence the public office holder in the exercise of an official power, duty, or function. Mr. Chair, here you have a public office holder, Minister Sajan, accepting a gift for himself and for his daughter from a Crown corporation that seeks federal funding, that has received federal funding from a minister who sits at the cabinet table that makes decisions about whether to fund that Crown corporation. That is a conflict of interest. The fact that the minister, after he got caught, suddenly said, oops, I'm going to return the ticket, doesn't end the matter. That's not good enough. He got caught. That's the only reason he decided at the 11th hour not to attend. The fact of the matter remains that he was offered the ticket, he accepted the ticket, and we need to know about exactly how that took place, and there needs to be a level of accountability. And it is frankly reflective of a pattern of conflicts of interest and ethical lapses within this government. Minister Sajan would not be alone in putting himself in a position to violate the Conflict of Interest Act because, after all, his boss, the Prime Minister, the serial lawbreaker, has broken the Conflict of Interest Act not once but twice, the first Prime Minister in Canadian history to do so. And that brings me to the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister attended the Taylor Swift concert in Toronto. Tickets were going for, in some cases, thousands of dollars.
I'm sorry.
I see the bells.
I'm sorry, Mr. Cooper. I'm obligated at this point that the bells are ringing to seek unanimous consent of the committee. Is it a quorum call?
It's not flashing no more.
Okay, because they're not flashing. Okay, so continue, Mr. It looked like a quorum call. Go ahead, continue, Mr. Cooper.
Mr. Chair, that brings me to the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister accepted tickets, or according to his version of events, bought tickets to the Taylor Swift concert in Toronto. Tickets for that concert were reportedly cost in the thousands of dollars, at minimum $1,500, some tickets going for thousands more. And the Prime Minister would have Canadians believe that he purchased those tickets. It was out of his own pocket. Well, if that is the case, then why is it that the Prime Minister and his office have refused to answer basic questions around the Prime Minister's attendance at the concert? The Prime Minister and his office have refused to disclose how much he paid for the tickets, when they were purchased, how many tickets did he purchase? If the Prime Minister, in fact, had purchased the tickets, wouldn't he be eager to say, I bought the tickets on such and such a day, and I paid such and such amount? Here are the receipts. There's nothing to see here. I simply went and attended a concert out of my own pocket. Mr. Chair, that would be what anyone would do if, in fact, they paid for the concert. The fact that the Prime Minister has been anything but transparent raises serious questions, and I would note that the record of the Prime Minister raises even more questions because, as I noted, this is a Prime Minister who is a serial lawbreaker. He is a Prime Minister who has violated the Conflict of Interest Act multiple times, investigated multiple times, and not only that, but the Prime Minister is a proven liar.
That's right. Here, here.
He is an absolute liar.
Point of order, Mr. Chair.
I'm going to ask Mr. Cooper to be a little more judicious in his language. Go ahead. And on your point of order, go ahead.
That was exactly my
Thank you.
point, Chair. That's
you.
very unparliamentary language.
Be a
It
little-
would
be a
be
little
really,
more-
really upsetting for that member if I called him a liar,
But you're not going to do that, are you, Ms. Khalid?
because I respect the rules of this House and this place.
Go ahead, Mr. Cooper.
Well, it's too bad that we have such an ethically challenged Prime Minister. We live in the greatest country in the world with the worst Prime Minister this country has ever seen.
That's right.
Again,
And-
point of order, Mr. Chair.
Go ahead on your point of order.
I don't see what that has to do with this motion. I think casting judgment on how good or bad somebody is doesn't really help us in getting through the orders of the day
Well,
today. It is absurd.
okay.
I could exactly call
I
that member
understand-
the
I
worst
understand your
person in
point
the
of
world.
order.
I'm not going to do that. I will keep my thoughts to myself. I think,
understand.
again, it's
I
very
understand your point of
unparliamentary
order, Mr.
language
Cooper.
for
You
that
have the
member to be
floor.
going down this path.
You know, I just
Just hang on a sec, okay? So let's keep the train on the rails here. Mr. Cooper, you have the floor. Go ahead.
I will note, Mr. Chair, that the Prime Minister has necessitated this motion, or at least part of the motion as it pertains to him, because all he has to do is show us the receipts, demonstrate that there's nothing to see here. But he hasn't done that. And so what we have is smoke, and where there's smoke, there's fire. And as I noted, added to that is the Prime Minister's multiple ethical breaches, his law breaking, his lying, and so taken together, we need
Order,
to
Mr.
get.
Chair, you already asked him to stop with the lying.
Well, he's not lying. He's talking about Justin Trudeau lying.
Okay,
Oh, he's
so,
lying too.
Mr. Fisher, I got your point of order. Go ahead, Mr. Cooper.
Well, and so taken together, this motion needs to be passed. We need to see the records. We need to see if the Prime Minister is, once again, breaking the law, violating the Conflict of Interest Act, lying and gaslighting Canadians, and with respect to Minister Sajjan, now that he's been caught, we need to understand exactly what transpired, leading him into a position where he broke the Conflict of Interest Act.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Cooper. Ms. Khalid.